It's October 31st, 2016, and what better way to spend 5 minutes of Halloween than by reviewing 5 of the most outrageous, infuriating, or just plain baffling things that have happened lately. It's your Facepalm 5. Let's count them down. Number 1, Hannity offers to send Obama to Kenya. Last week, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest was asked if President Obama plans to leave the country if Donald Trump wins the election. Talk radio host and Grover Dill to Donald Trump's Scott Farkas, Sean Hannity, responded by offering to buy Obama a one-way plane ticket to any other country he may want to go to, including Kenya. The next day on his radio show, Hannity claimed that he was just conducting an experiment about the corrupt, biased media to see if they would make a big deal about him offering to send Obama to Kenya. What exactly was the intention of Hannity's diabolical experiment here? To prove that if the water boy for the most blatantly racist major party presidential candidate in living memory passive-aggressively tells the black president of the United States to go back to Africa, people in the media will notice? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna say, good? Number 2, Republican senator makes racist attack against opponent during debate. Last week, Republican Senator from Illinois Mark Kirk debated his Democratic challenger, member of Congress and Iraq war vet Tammy Duckworth. At one point during the debate, Duckworth referenced her deep roots in the U.S., saying that her family had served America going all the way back to the Revolutionary War. Kirk responded by saying, "I forgot your parents came all the way from Thailand to serve George Washington." Duckworth's mother is an immigrant from Thailand. Her father, however, was not. And it is through his line that Duckworth traces her family history back to the era of the American Revolution, meaning that Kirk's attack was not only xenophobic and racist, but factually incorrect. Amazing how often we find those together, isn't it? Number 3, former member of Congress threatens revolution if Trump loses. Joe Walsh, the ex-member of Congress, not the multi-instrumentalist for the Eagles, recently tweeted, quote, "On November 8th, I'm voting for Trump. On November 9th, if Trump loses, I'm grabbing my musket. You in?" Walsh later claimed he was speaking metaphorically about political protest and not referring to actual violence. And you know what? Maybe during a different election, one with a Republican nominee who wasn't quite so comfortable stirring his base to armed insurrection, that excuse would fly. But in the here and now, it sounds an awful lot like the same pretended innocence we've been hearing from Trump and his deplorable supporters for over a year. Number 4, Trump campaign resorts to voter intimidation. Of course, Trump isn't a one-dimensional candidate. Not only can he incite his followers to violence, he can also signal them to intimidate their fellow citizens at the polls. Speaking at a rally week before last, Trump warned falsely about widespread voter fraud, and he had previously told supporters that they should watch polling places in quote-unquote certain areas to make sure that the election isn't stolen, which at least a few Trump supporters interpreted as a directive to hassle non-white voters on election day. That sounds pretty alarming, I know, but don't worry. Like I said, Trump is versatile. He can call for reconciliation too. For instance, number 5, Trump's Gettysburg speech. I almost ironically referred to it as Trump's Gettysburg Address, but then I decided the hell with that. There's only one Gettysburg Address, and it belongs to the president who was murdered by white supremacists, not the candidate who was endorsed by them. Anyway, last week in Gettysburg, Donald Trump delivered what was pitched as his campaign's closing argument. He began by lamenting the political division in the country and calling on people to embrace optimism and dream big. And then he threatened to sue all the women who have accused him of sexual assault, and repeated his promises to deport millions of Mexican immigrants, unilaterally withdraw from international trade agreements, and recommit to the war on drugs, which has disproportionately harmed black communities. You know, like Lincoln would have. This is not only Halloween, this is also the final episode of the Facepalm 5 before the election. So, my fellow Americans, let's do what we can on Election Day to make sure that it doesn't wind up being a lot scarier than Halloween. Let's give ourselves the greatest gift we could possibly give to ourselves, to the country, to the world. And on November 8th, let's send this shit-spewing prick packing back to Trump Tower. Please, can we do that? S5. Catch you later. Hey folks, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, please consider helping me to make more videos like this one by supporting this channel through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives and become a patron for as little as $1 a month. But if you become a patron at a level of $5 a month or higher, you get yourself a shout out at the end of the Facepalm 5, just like my brand new $5 or higher a month patron, Jessica Shear. Thank you, Jessica, so very much. Thanks to all of you for supporting this channel, whether you do it through a Patreon contribution or just by watching and liking and sharing. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you next time.